Or in progress. There we go. Okay. So I'm going to share my screen with you. And are you seeing something that says Foundation Directory?
Yes.
Okay. Um, just this may be an odd question. I'm teaching multiple sections of this class. Did I show this database to you all already?
I believe so.
Okay.
Is this the
I,
one where we have to sign up for free and we're able
yeah,
to see them?
no, that was GuideStar.
Okay.
That was how you get 990s. I didn't think I had, but I wanted to make sure because I also do videos and anyway, that's not it. So basically what this is this is the Foundation Directory online. The
Okay.
Foundation Directory is it's a service, and it is the most comprehensive database for private foundations. I mentioned in class that more than 90% of foundations don't have websites. And so the only way to access that they even exist is through these private databases. And the Foundation Directory annually communicates with every foundation in the world, not just in the United States. So it is the big kahuna. And I always tell people, if you're trying to find grants without using the private foundation grants without using the Foundation Directory, you're trying to watch the Super Bowl on the Cartoon Channel. You can try really hard, because lots of time be very diligent, but you're not going to find it because the Super Bowl isn't on the Cartoon Channel. Just like
Right.
most of this data isn't there on easily findable on Google or something. So anyway, it is a subscription database, and if you're going to be a nonprofit professional, if you're going to be writing grants, I strongly recommend that you have your foundation, your employer buy this for you, as I have with NUCC, or if you're going to be like a freelance for hire grant writer, it's certainly worth your money to invest in. So the way it works is a lot like a research project. You just start with a question or a statement, and you do sort of a general language search, and then you find how the database handles your data, what information you get, and then you add and delete keywords. So we are looking for money to support or how to better increase food delivery. And again, I'm thinking produce delivery. I might maybe this is a fresh vegetables to rural elderly clients of the food I could spell Bank of Corpus Christi. I know it's called the Coastal Bend Food Bank, but Coastal Bend is a local term, and nationally people would know that, but they wouldn't know what Corpus Christi is. So let's just see what we get. So we want to increase, what we're trying to do, a verb from the program, what we're trying to do. We're talking about what we're doing, produce, what we're doing, population served, elderly clients in a region, rural elderly clients, and then the agency, the food bank, and then the location, which is Corpus Christi. So let's see what this happens. Okay. So we search through, and we get 16,000 databases, and that's too many. So we'll have Albert look at those for us because he's not here. Sounds fair to me. Well, maybe not. So let's see if we can limit this in some way. So let's see what search parameters they actually use. So all they did was food banks and economically disadvantaged people. That's not all that. So we can narrow it down. Let's try this. Christie, Texas. So, and what we're going to try to do is reduce these funders down to a manageable level by adding keywords. And that gets it down to 63, which may look like a lot, but a lot of these aren't going to be relevant. And so sometimes you just got to plow through and look at things. So 63 is a good number to start with as well. I'm willing to bet we can find some useful ones in that. So I'm going to click on view all. I'm going to skip a couple of these for some different reasons. I'm skipping Coastal Bend Community Foundation because I know that they don't fit with us, with our time frame. They're perfectly good foundation, but they don't even open up till May 1st. We can't even get their funding guidelines. So I'm going to skip a couple others because the other class is doing them. So let's just look at one of these. Like let's look at the Laverne and Thomas Howell Foundation. And so what we get, and I know Carson Fox says don't do a quick read, but I tell you to do a quick read just to find out if what we're doing is where we're looking is appropriate. So what we're doing is human service, and we're looking for, do they fund what we do? Do they fund where we are? Is the dollar amount appropriate that we're looking at? And what's the deadline? What's the time frame? So the kind of work we're doing, broadly speaking, is human services. So yes. The kind of area where, well, they give exclusively in Texas, it looks like. So yes. Only one grant of under $5,000 or under, a few $5,000 grants. It's a possibility, but it looks like their happy place is over 10 grand. So maybe keep on looking down. Their funding interests are food banks, okay, human services, Texas low-income people, economically disadvantaged people. So not bad. So the only concern I have is the whole dollar amount thing that might be out of line. So, but primarily for Christian religious activities, impoverished individuals in need of financial health care assistance. So not bad background. Established in 2003. Full proposals are by invitation only upon letter of inquiry. Now, that's going to make it a no. And the reason is a letter of inquiry is you basically write them a letter outlining what you're going to do in a small way. And they'll say, either say, no, we're not interested, or yes, we're interested, and then invite you to. And then if you send them an application, you're much more likely to get funded. The reason I say no is time frame. We don't have time to write a letter, send it to them, wait for them to say, and then write our grant. So I'm going to say no because it's an LOI or letter of intent or inquiry foundation. So let's go to Ed Rochelle. The other class is doing Rochelle, so we won't do that. Beeman Brothers. So I'm going to let you look at these. Rochelle. Okay. Beeman Brothers. So look at this. Based on the questions we've asked, what do you think? Does this look likely?
Human services, yes. Texas, yes. The money amount looks good, right? I think.
I agree. I mean,
because earlier you said the 10 to 15K was out of line. Is that correct?
For that other one? Because we're asking for $5,000, and they only gave one grant that was $5,000. Everything was like 10,000 and over. So you look for human services, Texas. They do say children and youth, but everything else looks good here. Agricultural research and education, schools, youth groups, healthcare, and service organizations. So we're a service organization. There's an application form required, copies of proposals, board meeting dates in June, deadline May the 1st. So I think it's a pretty good possibility. So I'm going to put I'm going to write down Beeman. And they have a website you can get on there. It does have a form, so you could look at that as a possibility. And then let's try to find a couple of others.
You know, based on the ones you had given us samples of, I kind of found one that I thought, let me look at the dollar amounts. Yeah, it might be a possibility. The Estelle Foundation.
The Estelle Foundation. Okay. So
Because they do
we'll do
human
that.
services in
Uh-huh.
Texas. They had a good amount of the, 5,000 range.
Mhm.
They service food aid, food banks.
All right. Well, we'll do that. We'll add this still to the list too. The Beeman, Sunny Doherty, uh, Sam's is doing well, the order changed, which is interesting. Because when we were looking when we looked at it before, it had Compass Bank, and now I'm trying to see where that went to. Uh, huh. So, oh, there it is.
The Compass.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Celanese, we could look at it, but that's one that you have to know somebody who works there.
Okay.
Okay. Let's look at Doherty. And a little wheel of death there. Okay. All right. What do you think?
Hmm. So far, it looks good, I
Yeah,
think.
you got human services, majority giving in Texas. I'm looking at where they got our, yeah, hundreds of grants in Texas. Next closest state was California. So
5,000.
$5,000 is their really happy place. More 350 grants at $5,000.
Hmm.
So human services. This is interesting. Bolivia, California, Florida, Haiti, Italy, New York, and Texas. Okay. Low income
Wow.
people. Yeah, I have no idea what their interests are, but cash grants, matching grants. Background established in 1960, incorporated in Texas, 2002. Uh, Application form not required, descriptive literature, copy of our determination letter, detailed description of project amount of funding request, a national approach letter. So basically, you write them a foundation.
Be a
You write
fun.
them. You write the grant and send it to them. So I think it's a possibility, but um, you have no guidance. So and let's
Right.
yeah. So we've identified three. Let's do one more. And let's look at Compass Bank. So community economic development, education, human services, lots of grants in Texas, $5,000. They've given more than 1,800 grants in Texas, it looks like. So wide variety of interest, specifically food banks and human services.
Food banks.
And lots of different countries and a few states in the US. Low income people. Okay, you gotta pick our through charitable contributions. The BBVA Compass Foundation increases social value by strategically investing in projects that directly impact low to moderate income communities. 6 focus areas. Education, human services, inclusion, eligible nonprofits in the states where BBA Compass has retail presence are eligible funding. States include Alabama, Arizona, California, Colorado, Florida, New York, New Mexico, and Texas. Okay. So far so good. Basically, it is a charitable foundation that's supported by a company. But they're gonna give money where they operate. They want to be seen doing well in their communities. So could you quickly Google and see if there's a Compass Bank in Corpus Christi?
I believe there is. Let's see. I know there used to be.
I think there's one right by where Macaroni Grill used to be, which tells me you, one, how old I am, and two, how long I've lived in Corpus Christi. But it's on that strip around where where everything is between Everhart and Staples, on the south side of the
Yes.
freeway, I think. But
Hmm.
is there one there?
Yes, the BBVA Compass.
Yes. So there's one. So they do business in Corpus.
Yes.
So okay. So keep looking down. Other programs. Applications are encouraged to attend the semi-monthly charitable contributions, blah, blah. Application form required. So you got to complete an eligibility quiz, which basically got my bit. So open from January to mid-September. So everything looks good on that as well. So Compass. So what do we have? We have Beeman. We have Estill. Because you're right about Estill. Was that Doherty
Yes.
and Compass? Is that right?
And Compass. Yes, sir.
Okay, so we've got 4 leads. So
Hmm.
that's good.
All right.
So now if you were doing the grant on your own, and you were like a freelance grant writer or work for the food bank, the next step would be for you to contact the agency. Hi, I'm Karina. I am a volunteer grant writer working on behalf of the food bank of the Coastal Bend Food Bank. We're looking for approximately $5,000 to help increase delivery of produce to our rural elderly clients in the Coastal Bend, to help combat micronutrient malnutrition, which is a real problem in our area. Is this the kind of project the BBVA Compass Foundation would consider funding? And they would tell you yes, no, or talk to somebody else, all of which are good answers. But that's kind of what you would do. Since we're doing it for class, we got to run through Robert. I'm going to take these to Robert, and he'll approve or disapprove, and then we'll make those contacts, and then we'll get back to you as well. So, but I just wanted you to know how the process would work. Generally, and on when you do individual grant, you're going to need to do that. You're going to need to get permission from your client, and then make contact with the foundation as well. But so you've basically done your job at this point. So I'll take this to Robert, and you can share your results in class. And
and just to be sure, we didn't have to draft the goals and objectives tonight, right? Because we don't have A and B's part yet.
Right. You got to know what you're doing and why it's necessary before you can do goals and objectives. So, but we'll talk about that tonight.
Great. And if you have a moment, I met with Dr. Murphy right before this.
Oh, you did? Good.
Yes, it went well. I got lots of information from her, and she's going to be sending over some more stuff to me. I had looked at a possible funder already, and then she sent me 2. So if you don't mind, maybe looking over them with me when you get a chance at some point.
Sure, we can do that at break time in class, or if that's not going to be for you, we can make it. You work on campus, right?
No, I don't.
Oh, yeah. Well, never mind. Well, we can meet outside campus. I mean, I think it's the kind of thing we can probably talk about in class. On the other hand, remember, I'm in my office a half an hour before our class, and we can also meet after class. Just whatever's most convenient for you. So,
okay. I had already found one on my own that I kind of thought, and now with this meeting, this actually helps me to know what to look for. And she sent me 2 that I haven't looked up yet. So I'll need to look at the 2 she sent me as well.
Okay, sounds good. All right.
All right. Thank you so
thanks.
much.
We'll see you tonight. All right. Bye-bye.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Bye-bye.